Take 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Warriors Corner for the presentation on enlisted talent management. Today's speaker will be Command Sergeant Major Kevin Miller, Armor Enlisted Branch Sergeant Major. As a friendly reminder, during the question and answer portion, please wait until you have the microphone in your hand before proceeding with your question. At this time, let's welcome Command Sergeant Major Miller.
Thanks, Arndt. Good afternoon. How is everyone? Good. I am the Sergeant Major Miller, the Armor Enlisted Branch Sergeant Major, and today I want to kind of talk about some of the initiatives that HRC has created that will absolutely help talent management, talent distribution, assignment selection, and improves soldier choice. But before I get to that, I want to tell you kind of how HRC used to do business. HRC used to run 52 cycles a year. So that means that a talent manager would come into work on a Monday, look at an individual requisition, and then start his search for the NCO with the right knowledge, skills, and behaviors to fill that requisition. Even though that NCO may have been a better match 2 weeks down the road for now that that soldier is seen as unavailable. We also, our fill rate for that old manning cycle was between 78 and 80%. So that brings us to the enlisted manning cycle. If you kind of take a look at the first slide, it is a 10-week cycle, which allows the talent managers to do a detailed analysis of Army requirements versus assignments. We were able to move down from 52 cycles a year down to just 5 cycles a year. And we've also been able to increase soldier choice with the enlisted manning cycle. So the deliberate cycle allows a talent manager the time to do that detailed analysis to help them make brigades and battalions more ready. So that moves us on to the manner of performance. The manner of a performance tool was designed to give the talent manager a snapshot of where the non-commissioned officer rates against his peers in his peer group. So with that, we rate them into 5 categories. First category is above peers, slightly above peers, with peers, behind peers, and then slightly behind peers. This tool also allows the talent manager to see by DMSL brigade level where the exact talent manager, where the talent is located. So if we need to shift a #1 guy from the 101st Airborne to, let's say, an ACRC 1st Army, we could absolutely do that. And that helps us with equal talent distribution. And then we have the Personnel Assessment and Availability tool. This tool was designed to help the talent managers find an available population, which allows them to meet Army requirements. This tool is extremely valuable and handy for us because it is fed by a lot of data sources and different personnel tools that feeds this system. It gives the Army, the talent managers, the most accurate information up to date. The cycle's updated twice a day at 12:30 a.m. and at 12:30 p.m. If you take a look at the path tool, I don't have it up here, but if you take a look at the path tool, it has about 30 different fields that allows the talent manager to select the right guy at the right time. So if we're looking for a 19 Delta Juliet 3 Bradley Master Gunner who is a 1 Bravo Sharp certified NCO, we can do a deliberate deep dive and find that one NCO inside of maybe 3rd Brigade, 101st. Okay? All right, so we're moving on to the Ask Enlisted Marketplace. The Ask Enlisted Marketplace was developed based off the Secretary of the Army's initiative to how we can help soldiers improve their choice in the assignment process. So how we do that is we were able to batch these requisitions together in the enlisted marketplace, and it's actually a virtual marketplace that you would see online. The soldier will log into the assignment satisfaction key. He will then click on marketplace, and he's able to rank order preference every single actual Army available assignment that he's offered in that marketplace. We're currently looking at staff sergeant through master sergeant, as we know that sergeants and below will normally move themselves through re-enlistment. It allows the talent manager to in place the rules of engagement, which is kind of an overview of how the Ask Enlisted Marketplace works. It also allows the talent manager to place in the professional development model as well as the proponent guidance. The soldier will have a choice to put down a static preference. They can preference that out to 36 months with a hard date. Just a preference doesn't mean they're going to be stabilized. And then they rank order those choices. So that's kind of how all the initiatives we have at this point. Any questions currently on the EMC, the MOP tool, the PAT tool, or the Ask Enlisted Marketplace? Yes, sir. Our Sergeant.
When does the Enlisted Marketplace go live?
Okay. So, great question. So the Enlisted Marketplace, the Ask Enlisted Marketplace will go live January 20 of 21. Currently, we're going to be using MOS's CMF 19, CMF 35, and MOS's 92 Yankee as a test bed in June of 2020. We will then go live across the Army in January of 2021. Yes, sir.
Of these 4 initiatives, which one would the soldier have visibility on? And the MOP tool, how do you come up with the ranking?
Thank you. That's a great question. So the Ask Enlisted Marketplace will be accessible by the soldier. If the soldier calls his branch manager, they will be able to access their MOP data, and we will tell them if they're in the top third, middle third, or 1/3. Any other questions? Okay, please, sir, the video. It's about a 5-minute video. Please take a look at it and let me know if you have any questions. So the Armor branch has been using a digital analog version of that marketplace for the last almost a year. We send out an Excel spreadsheet. The soldiers are able to rank order their MOS, or correction, their duty assignments. They're able to put down, I'm going to Master Gunner School and I need a stabilization. That helps with us. But you guys know that Joe is extremely smart, so they will change all of the assignments to say Fort Carson instead of like Fort Polk, Fort Drum, or even Fort Riley. So we hope that the new Enlisted Marketplace will take soldier error and talent manager error out of it. And again, we will be launching in June of 2020 for CMF 19, CMF 35, and 92 Yankee. And then again, we'll go live in January of 2021. So what questions do you have? We would really like your feedback on how the Ask Enlisted Marketplace looks. What options do you think maybe we should add? I think it's a little drab. We need a little bit of color. So I've asked that. Yes, sir.
So the final decision point on where the soldier goes still sits with HRC and the manning cycles, not with any of the gaining units? So there's not a match in the marketplace?
Sir, that's a great question. So that is correct. We do not have a unit buy-in for enlisted, but we do have the talent managers will slate that individual based off his knowledge, skills, and behaviors, and now preferences. Yes, sir.
Those 10 cycles per year, once someone is in that cycle, how far from that cycle until they actually move?
Great question, sir. So with the 10-week cycle, the talent managers will see the requisitions with report dates 6 to 9 months out from the time they're in the marketplace or the enlisted manning cycle. Yes.
Is there any difference between officer talent management and the enlisted?
Yes, sir. There's actually quite a bit of difference. Like the colonel brought up that the unit will actually get a chance to vote on an officer. We don't do that in the enlisted side because our numbers are just too great. Any other questions on enlisted talent management? Yes, sir.
Great presentation, Sergeant Major. Thank you. Question, are you looking to adapt this maybe for the Army Reserve?
Sir, we are absolutely looking to do the exact same in a different type of format, but pretty close. And a quick note, sir, the colonel and I went to basic training together. All right, any other questions? No. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Is the popularity column then based on how many soldiers have applied for that position?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, ma'am. So it will display the popularity of that assignment. So if we have 69% going to Fort Bliss and we have 99% trying to get to Fort Bragg, we will absolutely have to do talent distribution that way. Yes, ma'am.
A quick question about the popularity. If you have 20 soldiers and nothing's distinguishable between them, how do you determine who's going to go to that assignment?
So, well, there's always something that distinguishes us from each other, right? So we'll look at past duty assignments, additional skill identifiers, the needs of the Army, and then his knowledge, skills, behaviors. We'll even look at NCOERs. Yep. Yes.
Sergeant Major, do you think that we can add a tab on here that we can actually put a summary in terms of certain skills that we might have that we're not allowed to put on our ERBs or SRBs, just like AIM?
That is a great idea. Ma'am, can you write that down, please? So that is a great idea. So we will actually take that back and put it into the operational planning team and see if we can't get that added. Yep.
If an ASI or SQI is required for a position and someone applies for it that is not qualified, will it error them out, or what happens? Is there an algorithm that adjusts that?
Right, so they will still be able to rank order that assignment, ma'am, but then we will look at, the talent managers will look at the type of requisition based off the ASIs, and if it's like a battle staff, that allows the talent manager to set up schooling en route to that location so they can complete battle staff, for an example. Yes, sir.
So on the example of the ask, I saw a lot of replacement units. So the soldier won't know the unit they're going to. It will just be Fort Bragg replacement.
So they can, they will be able to discern which unit they're going to, but when we send them their assignment instructions, it'll be more specific to the brigade level. Yes, sir.
With that being said, Sergeant Major, does that mean the DML will not own the right to move the soldier within their division, for example, based on needs for deployment, et cetera?
Absolutely not, sir. The senior commander still has the option to move soldiers around his formation as he sees fit. Now, we will still assign them to a DMSL, but if they end up at headquarters 82nd, it's on the senior commander. Anything else? Who else got a question? Yes, sir.
Sergeant Major, what does this do to actual recruiting incentives in terms of duty location? Will those locations just not go up on the marketplace within that 10-week cycle then?
Yes, sir. So how that will work is the marketplace requisitions will be coded and will not be able to be touched by retention. But if they send up a hotline and ask us, we will absolutely try to keep a soldier in the Army and try to give them that assignment. Yes, sir.
Appreciate all the information, Sergeant Major. With reference to the MOP, since this is going to be a big filter point for us determining who our top third, middle third, and our emerging talent is, can you discuss a little bit about the inputs that are going in? Is that going to be mostly about the block check? Is it going to be the ASIs? What's really going to filter into that?
Yes, sir. Sir, that's a great question. So the MOP tool is actually fed by past board analysis data from past centralized selection boards. The talent managers are able to review NCOERs and then rate them with a rubric that has been developed by HRC. For an example, if a 19 Delta staff sergeant is the number one of 12 staff sergeants, but in the senior rater profile, there's not enough, doesn't have the over 24% to give him a most qualified, we will then rate him a highly qualified number one, which is still above peers. So they do take that into effect, yes, sir. And they also will look at additional skill identifiers. They'll look at completion of KD assignments as well. All right, any other questions? All right, well, we appreciate you guys coming out. If you have any other questions, I'll be hanging out over here waiting for my colonel. Thank you.